Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the banners. So the two different banners that have come for the worldwide celebration. Now we'll talk a little bit about whether you should spend stones on them, but we'll talk mainly about which banner you should pick. There are two banners and there's a couple different formats of them. So firstly, let's talk about the stones. So a lot of people I see are asking, is it worth it to drop the 100 stones? Personally, although it's 20 guaranteed SSRs, which is pretty good value, it's not guaranteed featured SSRs. Although there is good value here, I would say 100 stones and 200 if you're doing both is a lot if you don't know what the upcoming banners are. Once we know what the upcoming banners are and you have a better idea of what that entails, you can consider summoning here. One thing I will say for new players is, if you're starting now, you have so many stones you can get that summoning on these banners is a good idea because it gives you a ton of SSRs to start off your account with. Now, in terms of tickets, there's two different formats. So we'll talk about the banners, but let's talk about the formats first. For me, I personally believe that the 20 guaranteed SSRs is more valuable than 50 characters. 20 guaranteed SSRs comes out at a much higher rate. It's basically a double rate of SSRs comparative to the 50 character banner. So there is a very unlikely chance that you may get the how can I say, like, it's a very unlikely chance that you'll get more than 20 SSRs on the 50 character banner. But generally speaking, the 20 is better, unless you are specifically hunting bubble points, which you really shouldn't. Alright, so now let's talk finally about the banners. There are two banners, and I want to say, the first rule, summon on the banner that has the characters that you want. You don't need to summon on the banner that has the characters I want. You have to summon on the banner that has characters you want. Now I'm going to give my opinion on the characters that I think matter. There are tons of great characters on these banners, so to go through every single one individually and talk about where they're good would take like an hour and a half. And unfortunately, I don't have that time, nor do I think you need it. But we'll talk about the units that I want to highlight. And on this banner, I think obviously Tech Goku is very good. I think he's aging very well with his leader skill. I think also, super teams get more buffs in Extreme, and I find that he's aging a bit better than Piccolo. However, I think both he and Piccolo are still very good units, and I don't find it unusual to be able to use both. Then we have Physical Kid Goku. Now, Physical Kid Goku is a triple team lead, but a very limited unit technically outside of that. Actually, honestly, a fantastic floating support unit that still with dupes can hold his own. Then we get Tech Bardock. No, he's not bad, but he really doesn't give me a really strong sense of achievement. He's not got a strong singular ability. Physical Turles is somewhat decent. His leader skill is not bad. He himself is not bad. Needs a dupe or two, but with the strength Turles EZA coming, I could see Turles' position being a lot more cemented, a lot stronger than what it currently is. AGL Kale, I actually think, is still a very good unit, especially with a dupe or two. She's a very strong candidate to being a very good lead. Transformation Boost is solid. Universe 6 still has a ton of really strong characters right now, so I think it's really solid. Now, Gamma 2 and Gamma 1. Obviously, Gamma 1's on the other banner. Gamma 2 is very good, but the thing that separates him from Gamma 1 is Gamma 1 has that damage reduction and a slightly higher defense start of turn, which makes him a really good foil for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 LR. But Gamma 2 is still very good. Then we get Strength Goku Gohan, a great leader skill for new players, and a good unit for a lot of hard content. Honestly, without dupes now, does drop off a little bit, but I still think are solid enough, just due to the fact that their leader skill encompasses Goku's family, which is a good, strong category with which to obviously, kind of try to run. Then we get Physical Raditz, and we don't look at Physical Raditz. We have Int Majin Vegeta, not a bad unit. AGL Captain Ginyu, not a bad unit either. Obviously, very nice for the Ginyu Force free-to-play team. Strength Kid Buu, nothing too spectacular. With a lot of these units, there's nothing negative about them. Like, I don't want to say that they're useless, they're not worth it. They are all very good in their own rights. They're just not distinctly units. They're either niche in terms of lead, they require you to run a slightly niche team, they themselves don't fit on their niche team, or they're just not optimal choices for that team right now. The tech androids I do want to highlight though, because they have a Ghost Usher skill. And much like Piccolo, there's a lot of value in those. For them, especially, theirs is very good because it can be activated pretty much instantaneously, and it's useful for so many strategies, even for hard content. Then we have a couple EFEs that are pretty solid. Obviously, Videl will be getting an EZA at some point in the future, which makes her a very, very solid candidate. Then we have these two, also two units that I think could potentially be getting an EZA during the course of the celebration, so their stock could change. Keep an eye on these guys, especially, like I said, wait a little bit until the campaign actually starts, because these guys could gain a lot of value that might swing your vote towards this banner. Tech Janemba, very good actually. I actually really like how well he's aged. Strength Kefla, an amazing EZA, one of the best damage dealers in the game. Huge damage that she can output, like absolutely huge. And with all the blue zones, USS, Gokus and Vegetas that you're facing now, her active skill is really good. Tech Buu, also fantastic EZA, an absolutely insane unit now, and really good on the Majin Buu team, which is also now very competitive. Then we get Beerus, Goku, Vegeta, even Future Gohan. Like, all units I like, even with their EZAs. Good leaders, solid units, but not like swing votes for me. Not huge units that dictate their teams anymore, which I think is important. AGL Gogeta, not bad, very good. Transforming Goku. MVP 17, really solid now with all the changes to USS. Same with Kaiki and Goku, like definitely a lot more value out of those two than you used to have. But realistically, that's kind of it for this banner in terms of highlightable units, until we come towards the Super EZA units. Now, this is where things get very, very interesting. You have a couple Super EZAs on this banner alone, and some, probably I would say the three best ones for me. You have Physical Goku Black, who's really, really solid right now. Absolutely amazing. Really, really well done. They did with this Goku Black unit. Incredibly strong, fits on this team perfectly. Orb changer, really helpful for super bosses. Then we also have potentially Physical Broly, who could be getting a Super EZA. It's between him or Strength Broly, and it's very interesting who they choose. If they choose Physical Broly, I feel this banner becomes way more valuable because of the amount of Super EZAs on it. If they choose Strength Broly, it helps out the other banner a lot, I think. Then you have AGL SS3 Goku, which is obviously really, really good. So he's amazing still. A lot of people I see give him grief. I personally find him still excellent. He is so good with his burst damage, 14, 15 million at rainbow level. Critting, additional attacks, really good. And then we have Physical Kid Buu. Again, like Tech Buu, really two crucial units if you're running that Martian Power lineup. So all in all, this team, or this banner right now, in terms of notable units, we have Strength Kefla, great EZA. AGL Kale, great leader skill for the Universe 6 team, excellent unit on it. Tech Buu, amazing EZA. MVP 17, good EZA. Physical Goku Black, an amazing Super EZA. Physical Broly, a potential Super EZA. The Tech Androids, usable for late or game strategies. AGL SS3 Goku, great EZA. Physical Buu, Kid Buu, great Super EZA. Strength Videl, future EZA. Strength Goku Gohan, good solid starter lead. Physical Turles, solid with now the Strength Turles coming back. Physical Kid Goku, still solid with dupes. And Tech Goku and AGL Gamma, still solid with dupes. So we got a lot of good options here. And remember, both banners have a ton of DFEs, so both banners have a ton of leads. I think the leads overall here are pretty strong. Youth, Earthbred Fighters, Androids, Artificial Life Forms, Universe 6, Buu, Artificial Power. I think there's a lot of good leads here overall. Next, we have the Int Piccolo, or Piccolo Jr., or whichever way you want to phrase it. Yeah, in Piccolo, honestly, great still. I would say still equal to Goku. Physical God Goku, I probably would say is better than Kid Goku. The leader skill is a bit better for me. His longevity individually as a unit, as an individual performance, is a bit better, whereas Goku's more a support. Tech Trunks is interesting because, like, if you're directly comparing, Tech Trunks is probably more directly compared to like physical Turles and things like that. Tech Trunks, actually, weirdly enough, is one of those weird units where if you get the strategy right, he like excels in hard events. Like I used him to beat Kid Buu, but if you don't, then he himself doesn't really function too well. He's a strange unit, but if you use him properly, he can still be devastating. Trunks, I mean, the 17's not bad. I think GT bosses is just in a weird space and target Goku where it makes them not ideal. Yamcha is solid, but Goku's a better Earthbird fighter's lead, and Saiyan Saga doesn't need its lead like that because Yamcha just doesn't really fit on that team. Then you have the Gamma 1. Like I said, the only reason I prefer Gamma 1 over Gamma 2 is because of his synergy with the LR, just due to how the fact that they gain a lot of defense on Super. We have Tech Pan, the Inter Blue Boys, not too bad. And AGL Cell I don't find as good as Goku Gohan. Goku Gohan I think aren't as good an individual unit, at least on the premise of it, but their leader skill and their synergy works a bit better. Android Cell Saga is a weird category right now that's not at its full strength. Then we have Tech, Khalif Kale, AGL Trunks. All these units are good, solid leads, but the categories are a bit out there. They themselves aren't necessarily even in some way viable for their teams. Like Tech Khalif Kale would be probably the last pick unit for a Universe 6 team if you have AGL Kale. Super Vegeta, very good, easy A, great high volume damage dealer, that's excellent for certain situations. GT Goku, Int Broly. Now Int Broly could be very interesting. If he gets an easy A, I think it could be very interesting to see the value in this banner go up. Because right now I do think Goku's banner is slightly better than Piccolo's. However, I think Piccolo's has more potential for more easy A's. They probably both have the same potential, but I think Piccolo's, with that Int Broly, could be interesting. Paikuhan, not as good as the androids from the Ghost Starship perspective, but still a very useful unit for a lot of content. Strength Bojack also is someone that people have touted could potentially get an easy A. We potentially could have Bojack movie for part 2. It's something people are thinking about. The only real big unit for that would be Bojack. Frieza is good, but he has dropped off a bit. He doesn't gain at the same rate he used to. A huge boost for this banner is in Tech Ultimate Gohan. He is really, really, really insane still, and obviously since he just got his EZA, and he fits so well on Majin Buu, and same with Int Gotenks. Like the two of them really help the Majin Buu Saga team bring it to its full power, and both of them are incredibly, incredibly good units. AGL Bardock has a great EZA, but is very limited, so the concept of using him is somewhat up in the air, because he's good, but it's difficult to use him at full power. Android 13, Goku, again we're looking at very useful units, very good leader skills, very solid EZAs, but none of them are units that I would say specifically should swing you either way. A lot of them are older, a lot of players have them. If you're a new player, they're still very, very good though. One I do want to mention is Aegis Masu, because of his synergy with Super Bosses and Tech Masu kind of holding him in there. Then we have Transforming Vegeta, good Pure Saiyan's lead. We have Goku, a solid sub-EZA. Then Broly, World Tournament, bonus point for that. If you need Broly, you should get him, because he does still help with World Tournament. But yeah, really like this here, a lot of good units, but units that, although good, don't necessarily, for me, strike themselves as crucial components to any of their teams. These units can fit on their top tier teams or perform well in a role for them, but a lot of them, much like in Future Gohan and that, are units that are, I would say, switchable options. You could probably find something better than some of them. So I think, yeah, realistically, it's pretty straightforward. Then we get to the Super EZAs for Gotenks. I think this is very, very, very good. Look, I think it's a bit harder to use than some of the other Super EZAs, but I think for me, a really good unit overall, and just in general, really solid. There seems to be less super easy A's on this banner, which kind of makes me feel like they will probably super easy A one of Inchinemba or Strength Broly. It doesn't always have to be equal on both banners, because technically all units will eventually super easy A. But I find it telling that the other banner had 3 super easy A's and this one has none. And if this does occur, it could really help out Piccolo's banner. Right now, if I was a new player starting an account, I would probably say to summon on the Goku banner, as it has more units that I myself use in a lot of my top tier teams. However, the Piccolo banner is still also exceptionally good, and if you are looking to supplement your teams and potentially score on some super easy A's, you can pull the trigger there. Either way, whether it's stone or ticket summons, and the tickets you get later on, you should not pull on any of these until you've done your other summons. You have no rush to do any of this. To use Dragonstone summons, to use ticket summons, there's no rush. Wait, process, wait for more easy A news, super easy A news, and then make your decision. Don't rush to summon with stones or to summon with tickets when you have so many different banners coming out, so much different content coming out, so many different easy A's, super easy A's. Just wait. Like, I don't have Bojack. What if Bojack easy A's? Maybe then I want to go on Piccolo's banner. It's just one of those things. So just wait a little bit, but think about it. It's always cool to do that. Bye.